Good morning, friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Medical Classes by Dr. Srinidhi Kumar Acharya. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel and also please give your valuable comments. As you are knowing, so we were discussing about the Graha Rogas. So already we have covered Graha Rogas in 3 or 4 5 parts. Now today we will see some of the interesting aspects regarding the Graha Rogas as a further continuation. Now, while explaining the bhutas, now we know that bhuta, peta, preta, pishacha, then rakshasa, asura, these are nothing but they're all microorganisms. Their severity differs, their situation of entry differs, that's all. Otherwise, they're all microorganisms, invisible antigenic structures or materials. Now, Vagbata, while explaining the entry of bhuta inside the body, he says that, and bhuta is most likely to afflict those who are suffering from fever, that means jwara. And again, he says that entry of bhuta is more common or prone in a patient who is suffering from vrana, any type of ulcer or wounded person. Even in the treatment of this bhuta pratisheda, in the treatment also, Vagbata says that a patient who is suffering from bhutavesha, bhuta pratisheda is just like the vranita. Whatever the care that we takes in the vranita, that means person afflicted with the vrana, similar type of care has to be taken for bhuta pravesha also. That means in the vrana patient, the maximum care should be given to prevent the infection. So he says that even in case of bhuta affliction also, the treatment principle is same. Okay, so that means those who are having the smell like that of the pus, mamsa, rakta, sneha, gandha, etc., then chance of entry of bhuta is more. Now further, the vulnerable time and place for getting infected. What is that? Okay. Mahahaviva, Desha, Pura, Kulina Vinasheva, Mahagrahe, Grahopagamane, Striyam, Vaprajarana. So this is again explained by Vagbata. What he says, Shunya Gharavasa, that means a crematorium like area. So these are most infected areas and chance of getting infected is more. So chance of getting infected by the bhuta, preta, pishacha, asura, graha, jataharani is maximum in such places like Shunya Gharavasa. Even in Ekantavasa, nobody is there, only one person is staying. So that is also one of the important causative factors, prone factor. Then the area of meeting of the four roads, we know that we have already discussed this part, meeting of the four roads. So that's the most dirty area because maximum people cross over there and somebody will split, somebody will urinate, somebody will defecate, and many things will be there. So that is one of the highly crowded fluctuating area, fluctuation crowding area. So that is one of the most prone area. Similarly, copulation, if you are indulging in copulation during the dusk and dawn, because dusk and dawn usually it is contraindicated for all the activities except the prayer. Always it is told that. So for the prayer, the best time is dusk and dawn, and all the other activities should be stopped there. Okay, so you should not do any activities. So even the copulation it should be also stopped because dusk and dawn both areas the environmental changes will be there. Okay, that's the reason. And the days of night, full moon days, that means fortnight and full moon days, no moon days, Amavasya, and full moon days, Purnima. Again, here also, the chance of getting infection is more, or both graha entering inside the body is possibility is maximum in the full moon days and the no moon days. The reason is again simple. That second, there will be sudden environmental changes in both conditions. Copulation during the menstrual cycle, yes, this is explained in the context of Jataharani. Menstrual cycle means the genital area and the genital system itself is a fragile in the area and it is more prone to infection during the menstrual area. That's the reason in ancient days a menstruating lady will be kept separate for 3 or 4 days because she is more prone to infection during those days. Now again, doing copulation during menstrual cycle is totally contraindicated because total genital tract itself is weak in the sense the bleeding is taking place, so chance of rupture of blood vessels will be there. So any type of infection can take place. Similarly, wrong procedure of reading and teaching is also considered as one of the prone time for one of the prone area for the entry of the grahas. Now you should not forget about factors like time of Great War. So during the war time, again the chance of production of new infection is more. Anthrax, we may be knowing that. Okay, H1N1 like infections during in 1921 war. I think influenza. So some new infections created during the wartime as a result of after war effect. Okay, post-war effect. Similar destruction of the property, city and community when it is happening, the chance of infection or entry of these grahas is maximum. And near the tree, near the temple, near the crematorium, again, suppose we are standing near the tree or temple, because these are the areas where the maximum people come. Okay, and a fluctuation of crowd fluctuation will be there. A lot of people gather together, so in such areas always there is chance of getting infection. So I will very beautifully explain all such places where there is a minutest chance of getting infection also. So this is one of the best. So what they say is, if you don't follow all these all these principles, then there is a every possibility of a entry of a Graha Rogas inside the body. Now we know that Graha Rogas can be better compared with the microorganism. So this is nothing but a precaution against the entry of a microorganism inside the body. Now the most vulnerable area or timing of Graha's entry. Now, Striyam Prajanane Kale. So infection by a microorganism can occur at the time of the Striyam Prajanane Kale, during the time of delivery. We know that early onset of septicemia, late onset of septicemia, so which is very common in neonatal practice. Okay, so that's the one thing. Then purpural infections, etc. Then overcoming the rules of brahmacharya. Okay, so niyame brahmacharya vratabange. So it is mentioned that. So the brahmacharya refers to a routine way of living style. Okay, say brahmachari, that the student, he has to follow a fixed daily regimen, and that is called as a brahmacharya. Okay, acharana which is done by a brahmachari is called as brahmacharya. Okay, that means disturbed daily routine, we can say. That is also one of the cause. During the time of vomiting and purgation, that means during the panchakarma procedures, etc. Also there is a chance of getting during the procedure time. Okay, during the procedure, always there is a chance of infection, isn't it? For example, resuscitation we are doing in the newborn, and that resuscitation itself is one of the main cause for the late onset of septicemia, because during the resuscitation procedure we are not able to maintain complete aseptic procedures. Okay, so while touching the inauspicious thing, so when you touch some of the inauspicious thing, that is also one of the root cause for the infection. Okay, eating without bathing. Okay, your body is not clean, and with a dirty hand and all you're eating, so that is also one of the main cause. Intake of meat, honey, jaggery, taila, madhya or wine, etc., which is left by others. That means somebody has taken half left and that has consumed by another person, because again the chance of infection may spread through the oral cavity, isn't it? Now, wandering at night hours at the street or at burial ground, crematorium. So these are all considered as some of the most common vulnerable areas, and as well as timing of entry of grahas inside the body. To have a reference, tadyatah papasya karmanah samarambe purva kritasya va parinama ekasya vaha shunya graha nivase tatushpadashtino vaha. So like this, all the details has been given by Kashyapa and as well as Sushruta and Vagbata. Now, this concept is very clear, that is the concept of incubation period. This is a unique nature of every microorganisms. We know that every organism has got its own incubation period. The period after entering inside the body to the production of the first symptom is called incubation period. Patient has no clue about the disease till the production of the symptom. Every microorganism has got its own incubation period. Okay, so now in the Graha Rogas also this incubation period is followed, because entry of Graha Roga inside the body is not visualized. When you come to know that Graha Roga enter inside the body only after the production of the first symptom. So this is to say that even the Graha Rogas also fulfill the nature of incubation periods, which is usually followed by the microorganisms. Now, Graherapi Jayanti Prachanna Vyadyo Shisho. This part also we have discussed. Grahas will also fulfill the nature of incubation period. They cause Prachanna Vyadhi or hidden disorders, just like the entry of Atma inside the body, just like the entry of light inside the mirror to produce the image, and just like entry of Taila inside the Bija is not visualized. Similarly, entry of Graha Roga inside the body is also not visualized. However, this fulfills the criteria of a incubation period. Now we come to another important aspect, that is the world of microorganisms. Okay, now So far, we have seen how the microorganisms are entering inside the body, what are the vulnerable areas, vulnerable periods, and what are the adharma factors, so unhygienic factors, prajnaprada like factors, which make or give an easy access to the grahas to enter inside the body. All those part we have discussed. Now, from this part onwards, now next part onwards, we will discuss an entirely new aspect of Graha Rogas. How that is how the grahas are useful to us and what is their basic tendency. Okay, so that part we will discuss in the next class.